Belfast city centre reverberates to a new sound created by the world's most powerful rally car, making its UK debut, driven by twice World Rally champion Walter Roll, who's deputising for Hannu Mikkola.
Well, it does affect us as far as the championship's concerned, and if Walter had to win it, and either Russell or I were second, then we still don't go into the lead. It still leaves Hannu in the lead. I think that's Audi's way of trying to keep us out of the lead.
I'm just here for testing, nothing else. I'm not very interested what is going on behind me. I just like to see that the new things are working, nothing else.
Does that mean you're not going to go flat out on the round?
Yes, of course. To make a proper test, it means I even go more flat out than normally. I take no care for the car, always flat.
He wasn't joking either. After a lightning once-over reconnaissance of the special stages that involved checking his pace notes only on the test which we held in darkness, the new 500 horsepower short wheelbase Quattro is visibly much faster than any rally car ever seen before in the UK. The aggressive new Quattro sport's a daunting sight. At this stunning pace, Walter Roll's outdistancing his nearest pursuers at a rate of no less than 2.3 seconds a mile. By comparison, Audi's principal opposition from Opel looks to be cruising. But Jimmy McRae's car's in fact going absolutely flat out, and already locked in a no-quarter struggle with his teammate Russell Brookes. Nothing less than the British Open Championships at stake. Hoping to tie up the Group A struggle on this round is Per Eklund in the class-leading Toyota Corolla, but he's destined for an early retirement with engine failure. Meantime, McRae's teammate Russell Brookes has a brand new 280 horsepower Opel Manta 400 at his disposal this weekend. It's said to be the lightest of its type ever built, and he's putting it to good use. After 2 stages, Russell's in second place, just 4 scant seconds ahead of McRae. The battle between the Opels looks like being tougher than ever before. With a rebuilt transmission following its failure at the Donegal rally recently, Malcolm Wilson's Audi Quattro is already struggling to stay in touch. But the first retirement is Harold de Muth's Audi Sport UK car, which manages just 6 competitive miles before being sidelined with an electrical fire. Local favourite is Irish tarmac specialist Berty Fisher in his Opel Manta. After an indifferent season to date, he's looking for a good result here, and now lies third after overshooting a junction on the second stage. Behind him comes Irish folk hero and this year's Circuit of Ireland winner Billy Coleman, but already he's experiencing difficulties with his Opel's brakes. Battling with a sticking throttle is young Ian Tilk in his Escort RS. After a number of very promising showings this year, he certainly deserves a good result in Ulster. Mark Lovell's Citroën Visa's also short of brakes, so it's going to be a long night for some as the cars head north into the darkness. A grey, overcast dawn in Omagh. 13 stages completed, and Walter Roll has increased his lead to 3 minutes 9 seconds, but Berty Fisher's been in the wars in his Shell Gold car.
We were coming down a very fast piece of road, very grippy surface, and the road was damp. The car braked perfectly, no problem, and when we turned into the junction, it was just shiny wet tar on the car aquaplane. We were on slick tyres. Car aquaplaned just across the road, knocked down about a half a dozen concrete posts and rolled into a field. So we thought it was all over then, and we got out and had a look around the car. Didn't look too bad, and we got some spectators and eased it out. We lost about something over 5 minutes probably, but it didn't drop us any positions on the overall leaderboard, so we've been very lucky, I think.
While Berty's now lost any hope of improving on his 4th place, at least by his own efforts, so Walter Roll continues on his remorseless way with the new Audi Quattro Sport. Northern Ireland's being treated to a remarkable demonstration of power and professionalism. For with a front suspension rather too soft for the job, the Quattro's a major handful over Ulster's bumps and crests. Still in second place at half distance, but now just 9 seconds ahead of his Scottish teammate after 125 miles of flat-out driving. Britain's Russell Brookes has had a brief electrical failure, which has cost about 20 seconds of stage time, and half a minute's road penalties to distract from a truly great dice with Jimmy McRae. Jim was caught out at the same slippery downhill right-hander as Fisher and spun, losing some 25 seconds to Brookes. Now, with the two most competitive Opels bunched closely together once more, the battle for second place is intensifying. Despite all the time lost as a result of his accident, Bertie Fisher still clinging onto fourth place. Although he's over a minute to play with, the Manta's chassis has been damaged in the crash. It's now understeering badly. With the result, he's being threatened by Cyril Bolton's Vauxhall Chevette. But he too's in trouble, since his disadvantage in power compared to the Opels is being compounded by an overheating engine. After his successes earlier this year, Billy Coleman in 6th place isn't enjoying a happy Ulster rally. Despite changing the rear discs, he's still complaining about his car's brakes, but is nevertheless closing in on Bolton's Chevette. Ian Tilk's also having more than his share of problems with the Silcoline Escort, but the plucky Derbyshire driver's still trying hard, despite a rear axle that had to be changed, a misfire, and sagging oil pressure. He's in 7th place, just 10 seconds ahead of Ken McKinstry's Nissan 240 RS, who's jumping in fine style. It's been a hard night for the Citroën team, who've had to change the rear differential, the rear calipers, and several alternators after Mark Lovell was left without either proper brakes or auxiliary lights. But Lovell's fought back and now holds 10th place. Demonstrating Toyota's dominance of the class, driving splendidly and leading Group A is David Mann's 8-valve Toyota Corolla. John Morton, giving chase in his Vauxhall Astra GTE, is getting just a touch of understeer. With persistent drizzle now making the roads very slippery, Rolls extending his lead even further, thanks to the Audi's amazing traction. On special stage 25, he's fastest yet again, which makes no less than 18 fastest times to date. Only 2 more tests remain. The astonishing Opel battle remains a cliffhanger right to the end. Having lost 20 seconds and second place to McRae after an overshoot at a slippery junction on stage 19, Brookes tenaciously claws his way back to lead the Scot by 3 seconds at the start of the last stage. At the finish, it's the Englishman who gets the verdict by just 10 seconds as McRae slides straight on instead of left at a crossroads swamped by standing water. Both men have given 100% throughout the entire event. Local man Bertie Fisher finishes a distant 4th, no less than 13 minutes 29 seconds adrift of McRae. Such has been the pace of this gripping rally. And after winding himself up to a superb effort on the final stage, in the process setting a time faster than either Brookes or McRae, Billy Coleman just collects 5th place at the finish, demoting Lancastrian Cyril Bolton's Vauxhall Chevette, who'd staved off the Irishman until the last. A spin on the final test seals the matter. Bolton finishes 6th. Running reliably in the later stages after having its engine retimed, Ian Tilk's Escort is 7th, and Ken McKinstry is just under a minute behind. But there's penultimate stage disappointment for Citroën and Mark Lovell, whose 10th place finish evaporates with a distributor drive failure. Back in Belfast, the superlative Walter Rolls done his job brilliantly. After setting 20 fastest stage times and finishing with a winning margin of 4 minutes 15 seconds, he scored Audi's first international win for the hitherto troublesome quattro sport. But in the process, has neatly kept Audi's championship chances alive for the Manx International finale in September. So 1 round to go, the Rothmans Rally Championship heading for a great finish. Mechelle now leads Brookes by a single point. Jimmy McRae riding contention on 42 points. And that final round, the